If you've just discovered you've been catfished, I want you to just take a breath. The next few minutes are designed to be a first aid kit for your heart. We're going to cover the immediate, practical, and emotional steps you can take to start healing right now.
Man, this just hits right at the core of it, doesn't it? That feeling of shock, like the ground just disappeared from under you. The connection felt real because for you, it was real. And that's exactly what makes this betrayal so, so profound.
Okay, so this is the most important place to start. We have to acknowledge that what you're feeling is completely and totally valid. This wasn't some simple misunderstanding. It was a deliberate, deep deception.
Please let this one sink in. Scammers are skilled manipulators. They're good at what they do. They prey on the absolute best parts of us, our ability to trust, to hope, to connect with another person. You weren't foolish. You were targeted. Your humanity was exploited, and that is never, ever your fault.
The reason the pain you're feeling is so intense is because the loss is layered. It's not just one thing. You're grieving the person you thought you loved, absolutely, but you're also grieving a future that just vanished. You're dealing with the violation of your trust, and maybe the hardest part of all, that sudden doubt in your own ability to see people clearly. It's a really complex loss, and it's okay to feel every single piece of it. All right, now let's shift gears. We've acknowledged the pain, now it's time to take some protection action. When everything feels like chaos, regaining a little bit of control, even in small ways, is incredibly powerful. So here are the first critical steps. First things first, lock it down. If you shared any personal or financial information at all, you have to assume it's compromised. Placing a fraud alert is totally free, and it makes it much harder for someone to open accounts in your name. Go change those passwords, turn on two-factor authentication. Think of this as putting on your digital armor. I know, reporting can feel like this huge, daunting step, but it is so, so crucial. It helps protect other people from going through what you're going through, and it creates an official record. Remember, this wasn't just a betrayal. In many cases, it was a crime. Reporting it is your way of saying, what happened to me was not okay. Create a file. It might feel painful to go back through it all, but having this evidence is vital for your reports and, honestly, for your own sanity. It helps you piece together the reality of the deception, and it creates a concrete record that can fight back against any gaslighting or self-doubt that creeps in. So, after you've secured your info and documented the facts, there is one more immediate step, and I think this one is absolutely essential for your healing. You see, shame thrives in silence. Just saying the words, "I was catfished," out loud to someone you trust breaks that cycle. You do not have to carry this alone. Okay, so after you've taken those first urgent actions, you have to make space for the emotional journey. And healing, well, it's not a straight line. It's a lot more like a storm. But understanding its patterns can really help you navigate it. This timeline can kind of help normalize the whole process. You'll likely move from shock to anger at them and maybe at yourself. Then that gives way to grief for the loss. And eventually you'll get into this processing phase with good days and bad days until finally the experience just integrates. This is a totally natural progression when you're healing from a betrayal like this. But remember, this is just a map, not a mandate. Your journey is going to be your own. A relationship that lasted 2 years is going to take longer to heal from than one that lasted 2 months. So be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. There is no right way to get through this. You know, knowing what to expect emotionally is one thing, but actively healing is another. So let's get into some concrete strategies that can make a real difference in processing this trauma and reclaiming your sense of self. This is one of the most powerful tools you have. It's about reframing your inner monologue. Your brain is going to want to blame you. It's just what it does. Your job is to gently but firmly correct it. You aren't stupid. You were deceived. And your capacity for trust isn't a weakness. It's a strength that was exploited. Changing this narrative is absolutely fundamental to your healing. Okay, this one is non-negotiable. Every single time you check their profile or read an old message, you are reopening the wound. Going no contact isn't about punishing them, it's about protecting you. It creates the mental and emotional space your brain needs to start healing without being constantly re-traumatized. Trauma actually lives in the body, so healing needs to happen there too. Moving, creating, or just being out in nature helps regulate your nervous system.
These aren't just distractions, they are active parts of the healing process. They remind you of who you are beyond this experience.
So, as that really sharp, acute pain starts to fade, a new challenge emerges: how to trust again. And not just other people, but yourself. This is the deeper work, and it's where real, lasting recovery happens. Here's the thing: your judgment isn't broken, it just needs to be recalibrated. Look back and acknowledge those moments your gut told you something was off. You see, that was your intuition working perfectly. The goal now is to learn to honor that voice, to tell the difference between it and the powerful hope that it would all work out. Start small. Trust your gut on little things and build your confidence from there. This is your new mantra. The goal isn't to build a fortress around your heart and never trust anyone again. It's to become a wise gatekeeper. You can let people in, but you do it slowly. You trust what they say, but you also watch what they do. Trust becomes something that's earned over time, not just given away for free. As painful as this was, I promise it was not for nothing. You've learned how incredibly resilient you are. You've learned that your ability to connect is a gift, and now you have the wisdom to share it more carefully. This experience has basically given you a PhD in spotting red flags and understanding the importance of verification. This right here. This is the destination. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means the memory loses its power to wound you. You'll be able to look back and see not just the pain, but the strength and the wisdom you gained from surviving it. It becomes a part of your story, but it no longer defines it. And please remember this: if that emotional storm ever feels too overwhelming, if you start to feel hopeless, you are not alone. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24/7. You can call or text 988 anytime. Professional, confidential support is always there for you. I want to leave you with this final thought. The common reaction to this is to feel like you can never trust your own judgment again. But what if the opposite is true? What if this incredibly painful lesson is the very thing that forges a stronger, a wiser, a more discerning intuition? You've seen the worst, and now you are uniquely equipped to recognize the best.
Your smile lit up like a sunrise glow.